Every year, nearly 1 in 3 people over the age of 65 falls. Many of those falls end in a fracture, a broken hip, a broken wrist, a broken spine. For decades, doctors handed out the same advice to prevent this. Take calcium. Take vitamin D, protect your bones before it's too late. Millions of people followed that advice every single day, swallowing a small white pill with breakfast, trusting it was quietly strengthening their skeleton from the inside. In June 2026, the largest review of evidence ever conducted on this question was published in the BMJ. Researchers in Canada combed through 69 randomized controlled trials. Not opinions, not anecdotes, controlled, peer-reviewed clinical trials involving 153,902 adults. That is one of the biggest sample sizes ever assembled to answer a single medical question. And the conclusion landed like a quiet earthquake through the medical community. Calcium alone showed little to no meaningful protection against fractures. Vitamin D alone showed little to no meaningful protection against fractures or falls. Calcium and vitamin D combined showed a slightly reduced fracture risk, but when researchers applied strict, pre-agreed clinical thresholds, even that combined effect did not qualify as clinically meaningful. Let that sink in. The two supplements recommended to millions of older adults for decades by doctors, by pharmacies, by government health guidelines, do not meaningfully protect most people from the exact thing they were prescribed to prevent. So how did we get here? How did an entire generation of doctors recommend something the data did not support? The answer lies in a statistical trick that is not malicious, but is deeply misleading. It is called relative risk. Imagine a clinical trial showing that a supplement reduces fracture risk from 2% down to 1.82%. Researchers calculate the relative risk ratio between those two numbers, and it comes out to 0.91, a 9% reduction. That number gets published. That number gets quoted in medical journals. That number gets simplified into a doctor's recommendation. 9% sounds like something. 9% sounds worth taking a pill for every single day for the rest of your life. But look at the actual numbers behind that percentage. 2% of people had a fracture without the supplement. 1.82% had a fracture with it. The real difference, the absolute risk reduction, is 0.18 percentage points, less than 1/5 of 1%. Out of every 500 people taking the supplement for years, roughly one additional person avoids a fracture. The other 499 take the pill, absorb the cost, and receive no measurable protection at all. This is not a new problem in medicine. Relative risk has been inflating the perceived power of treatments for decades, because relative numbers are easier to market and easier to remember than absolute ones. A 9% reduction in fracture risk sells more supplements than a 0.18 percentage point reduction ever could, even though they describe the exact same data. The Canadian research team behind this BMJ review did something most previous reviews did not do. Before they even looked at the results, they agreed on a clear threshold for what would actually count as a clinically meaningful benefit to a real patient. Not just statistical significance, real-world meaning. And when they applied that threshold to calcium alone, vitamin D alone, and the combination of both, the benefit essentially disappeared. This finding did not come out of nowhere. In December 2024, the U.S. Preventive Services Task Force quietly issued a draft recommendation against routine calcium and vitamin D supplementation for preventing falls and fractures in healthy, independently living older adults. That draft reversed the task force's own 2018 recommendation, which had conditionally supported low-dose supplementation. As of today, that 2018 recommendation technically remains in effect while the new draft is finalized, which means there is currently a gap, a real documented gap, between what the best available evidence shows and what official guidelines still say. Millions of people are living inside that gap right now, taking a pill every morning based on outdated guidance that the agency responsible for that guidance has already moved to retract. Now, this is the part that matters most, so listen carefully. This research does not apply to everyone equally. The review focused on older adults living independently, without diagnosed osteoporosis, and without confirmed vitamin D deficiency. If you have been diagnosed with osteoporosis, if a blood test has shown you are deficient in vitamin D, or if your doctor has specifically identified you as high risk for fractures, this data does not tell you to stop your medication. Supplementation in those specific medical situations was not what this review was measuring, and stopping prescribed treatment without medical guidance can be dangerous. But if you are a generally healthy adult taking a daily calcium or vitamin D pill purely as a precaution, purely because a guideline once told you it was a good idea, the largest body of evidence ever assembled on this question says you may be spending money and swallowing a pill for a benefit that, for you specifically, does not meaningfully exist. This story is bigger than one supplement. It is a reminder that medical guidelines are not permanent truths carved in stone. They are conclusions based on the best evidence available at the time, and that evidence keeps evolving. The guideline you were given 10 years ago may already be outdated today, sitting quietly in the gap between old advice and new data, waiting for someone to ask the right question. Talk to your doctor. Ask about your specific risk factors. And ask whether the pill in your hand is actually backed by evidence or just by habit.